Do you ever feel a quiet ache, even when you're surrounded by people you love? Have you ever thought that perhaps the loneliness you sometimes feel isn't just about being alone, but something deeper, something nobody really talks about? It's a painful reality for so many of us as we get older. This subtle, often unspoken sense of isolation that can creep in. Even when we're active and engaged, we see the cheerful pictures, the busy schedules, but beneath the surface, there can be a feeling of being disconnected. What if I told you that what you perceive as loneliness might be a completely different beast than you imagine? And understanding it is the first step to truly overcoming it. There are hidden truths about loneliness in old age that, once revealed, can change everything about how you experience your later years. In this video, we'll uncover 5 surprising truths about loneliness that most people never discuss, and explore how understanding them can unlock a richer, more connected life. Watch to the end for something that will surprise you. Let's dive right into the first hidden truth. And it's a big one. Loneliness isn't always about being physically alone. It's often a profound feeling of disconnect, even when you're surrounded by others. Think about that for a moment. You might be at a family gathering, a bustling community event, or even sitting with your spouse of 50 years, and still feel an unsettling sense of isolation. It's not about the absence of people, but the absence of genuine, meaningful connection. This is a crucial distinction, because if we only focus on filling our calendars, we might miss the deeper issue. We might be busy, but are we truly seen, heard, and understood? Are we sharing our authentic selves, or just skimming the surface with polite conversations? I've heard countless stories from people who describe feeling lonelier in a crowded room than they do in the quiet solitude of their own home. It's like being in a glass box. You can see everyone, but you can't quite reach them, and they can't quite reach you. This kind of loneliness often stems from a lack of deep, reciprocal relationships where you feel truly comfortable being vulnerable and sharing your inner world. Maybe you've lost friends or family members who were your confidants. Or perhaps life changes have shifted your social circles, leaving you feeling like there's no one who truly gets you anymore. The actionable step here is to shift your focus from simply being around people to actively seeking quality interactions. This might mean initiating deeper conversations, sharing a memory or a feeling you wouldn't normally, or reaching out to someone specific for a one-on-one chat rather than just group activities. It's about consciously nurturing those bonds that feed your soul, rather than just filling your time. Remember, one truly meaningful conversation can do more for your well-being than a dozen superficial ones. And this leads us perfectly into the second hidden truth. We unintentionally push people away when we're feeling most lonely, creating a vicious cycle. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? When we're feeling vulnerable and isolated, our natural instinct can sometimes be to withdraw, to put up a protective shield. We might decline invitations, make excuses, or become less outwardly engaging. We might worry about being a burden, or that our feelings of loneliness are a weakness others won't understand. This self-sabotage is often unconscious. Imagine Sarah, who lost her husband a few years ago. She feels incredibly lonely, even though her children live nearby and invite her over regularly. But when they call, she often says she's too tired, or that she doesn't want to intrude. She feels embarrassed by her sadness, and worries she'll bring down the mood. So, slowly, but surely, the invitations become less frequent. Not because her children don't care, but because they interpret her rejections as a desire for solitude. This creates a painful loop. Loneliness leads to withdrawal, which leads to fewer connections, which deepens the loneliness. Breaking this cycle requires courage and a conscious effort to override that instinct to retreat. It means acknowledging that while you might feel like pulling away, what you truly need is connection. The practical advice here is to take even the smallest step outwards. even when it feels uncomfortable. Say yes to one invitation, even if it's just for a short visit. Send a text to an old friend you haven't spoken to in a while, just to say hello. Offer a genuine smile and a warm word to someone in your community. If you find yourself consistently turning down opportunities, pause and ask yourself if it's truly what you want, or if it's just the loneliness talking. Sometimes, just showing up, even for a little while, can make all the difference. Reminding both yourself and others that you are open to connection. It's about gently nudging yourself out of that protective shell. One small gesture at a time. The more we consciously counteract that urge to withdraw, the more we open ourselves up to the very connections that can alleviate the loneliness. Now that we've discussed how loneliness can be a feeling of disconnect, even when surrounded by others, and how we might unintentionally push people away, let's move on to uncovering another vital truth about this often misunderstood emotion. Let's uncover the third hidden truth, which is incredibly important for reframing our experience. Loneliness is not a sign of failure, but a natural, often temporary, human experience, particularly in times of significant life transition. For so long, society has made us believe that feeling lonely, especially in old age, is a personal shortcoming, a sign that you haven't built enough friendships or maintained enough connections. This couldn't be further from the truth. Life is a constant flux of change, and as we age, these changes often accelerate. We experience the loss of loved ones, spouses, siblings, lifelong friends, creating profound voids. Children move away, careers end. Health challenges might limit our mobility or participation in activities we once loved. All of these are major life transitions that naturally disrupt our social fabric. To feel a sense of loss or disconnection during such profound shifts is not a failure. It is a normal, human response to change and grief. Think of it like this: if you moved to a new country where you didn't know anyone, you'd expect to feel a degree of loneliness as you built a new life. Aging presents similar new countries to navigate, new social landscapes, new daily routines, new identities. The key is to recognize that this feeling, while painful, is often a temporary stage, a signal that something in your life has shifted and you need to adapt. It's a call to action, not a condemnation. Instead of shaming ourselves for feeling lonely, we should acknowledge it as a valid emotion, just like sadness or joy. The actionable advice here is to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend going through a difficult time. Acknowledge the losses you've experienced and the changes you're navigating. Give yourself permission to feel lonely without judgment. Once you release the shame, you free up energy to explore new avenues for connection. This might involve joining a grief support group if you've experienced loss, even online, to connect with others who truly understand. Or it could be exploring new hobbies that put you in contact with people who share a fresh interest, rather than relying solely on old circles that may have thinned out. It's about understanding that your feelings are valid, and that accepting them is the first step towards moving through them and building new forms of connection. Now, let's talk about the fourth hidden truth, which might sting a little for some of us. But it's vital to acknowledge the pursuit of independence can sometimes be a subtle form of self-isolation. Our society often champions independence as the ultimate goal. Especially as we age, we pride ourselves on being self-sufficient, not wanting to bother anyone, and managing everything on our own. And while independence is valuable and empowering in many ways, an overemphasis on it can inadvertently create barriers to connection. If we consistently refuse help, decline invitations that might involve relying on others, or avoid sharing our vulnerabilities because we don't want to seem needy, we are subtly pushing people away. We might tell ourselves we're strong and self-reliant, but what we're actually doing is denying others the opportunity to connect with us on a deeper level, to show care, and to feel needed themselves. Human connection is often built on reciprocity, the giving and receiving of support, comfort, and shared experiences. When we always operate in a purely independent mode, we deny others the chance to give, and we deny ourselves the joy and warmth that comes from receiving. Think of Martha, who insists on doing all her grocery shopping herself, even though her neighbor offers to pick things up for her. She sees it as maintaining her independence. But what she misses is the small chat over the fence, the brief connection, the opportunity for a mutual exchange of kindness. The actionable step here is to consciously practice accepting help and allowing vulnerability, even in small ways. This doesn't mean becoming dependent, but rather embracing interdependence, which is a hallmark of healthy, mature relationships. Can you let your neighbor pick up milk for you? Can you share a minor struggle with a friend, allowing them to offer comfort or advice? Can you ask for a ride to an event instead of always driving yourself? Opening up time for conversation in the car. These small acts of allowing others to contribute to your life, and in turn, showing them they matter, can deepen bonds significantly. It's about finding the balance between cherished independence and the enriching experience of allowing others into your life. Recognizing that true strength often lies in our ability to connect, not just to stand alone. Finally, we arrive at the fifth and perhaps most empowering hidden truth: loneliness can be a powerful signal, guiding us towards what we truly need for deeper connection. If we listen, we often view loneliness as a negative emotion, something to be avoided or suppressed. But what if we reframed it? What if, instead of seeing it as a problem, we saw it as a messenger, much like hunger signals a need for food, or thirst signals a need for water? Loneliness is a fundamental human emotion that signals a need for connection. When we feel it, it's our inner compass pointing us towards a void that needs filling. It's asking us to examine our relationships, our activities, and our deeper longings. Are you craving intellectual stimulation? Perhaps a book club or a lecture series is calling your name. Do you miss shared laughter and lighthearted camaraderie? Maybe joining a social group or volunteering in a less formal setting would help. Are you longing for a sense of purpose and contribution? Seeking out opportunities to mentor or share your wisdom could be the answer. This truth invites us to pause when loneliness strikes, not to immediately try to fix it by simply filling time, but to ask, what kind of connection am I truly yearning for right now? Is it companionship, intellectual exchange, emotional intimacy, or a sense of belonging? The actionable step is to listen to this signal with curiosity, not fear. Take a moment to reflect on what specific type of connection feels missing. Journal about it. Talk to a trusted friend or family member if you have one. Then, intentionally seek out activities or people that align with that specific need. For example, if you miss the structure and camaraderie of work, volunteering might be a better fit than just joining a casual social club. If you miss deep conversations, look for groups centered around shared interests like history, art, or current events. Using loneliness as a compass means we move from a passive experience of suffering to an active process of discovery and intentional action, transforming a painful feeling into a powerful catalyst for growth and deeper, more fulfilling connections. We've journeyed through these 5 hidden truths about loneliness, moving from the idea that it's often a disconnect amidst company, to how our withdrawal can deepen it, how it's a natural response to life's transitions rather than a personal failing, how an overemphasis on independence can sometimes isolate us, and finally, how loneliness itself can serve as a vital guide, leading us to the very connections we crave. Each of these truths offers a new lens through which to view an experience that affects so many of us, providing not just understanding, but pathways to real change. Remember, feeling lonely is not a reflection of your worth or your ability to connect. It's a common human experience, particularly as we navigate the rich tapestry of later life. The key lies in understanding its nuances and responding with self-awareness and intention. Small shifts in perspective and tiny, consistent efforts can make an enormous difference. Think about just one thing we discussed today. Perhaps leaning into a moment of vulnerability, or consciously saying yes to an invitation you might normally decline, or even simply acknowledging your feelings of loneliness without judgment. Even these minor adjustments can begin to transform your experience and open doors to new possibilities for connection. You are not alone in feeling this way. And more importantly, you have the power to reshape your experience of it. I truly hope that uncovering these hidden truths has given you a fresh perspective and some actionable ideas to bring more genuine connection into your life. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Have you recognized any of these hidden truths in your own life? What strategies have you found most helpful in cultivating deeper connections? Please share your wisdom and insights in the comments below. Your words could be exactly what someone else needs to hear. And if this video resonated with you, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It helps more people find this message. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos that aim to empower you to live your best life at every age. Thank you for watching. And remember, connection is always possible. And your journey towards a more connected life starts with just one small, brave step. Live your best life at every age.